First of all, thank you so much, Gunesh, for being here today, for taking the time to share about your journey and the incredible work that you have been doing with the Turkish Stuttering Association. Thank you so much. I would like to ask you if you could share a little bit about who you are and also what you do.
Thank you for ha- having me a chance here. Um, it's very good to be there, of course. Um, First of all, about myself, um, um, my name is Güneş. I live in Istanbul, and I'm a chemistry student at the Boğaziçi University. And I'm also the vice president of the Turkish Stuttering Association and the board member of the World Stuttering Network. It's briefly about myself.
That's really interesting. That's really cool. I would love to learn a little bit about your journey with like stuttering before we dive into the work that you guys are doing.
Mhm.
So I would love to know a little bit more, like when did you start stuttering? When did you notice? What was the impact and how did you, and what ways did you learn how to deal with like stuttering?
I can start from my childhood. Um, I've been stuttering for I've been stuttering for as long as I remember myself. Um, no, no. My family says it started when I first began to speak. Uh, the growing up with it uh, wasn't wasn't easy. Wasn't always easy, of course. Um, and kids can be harsh sometimes. And there were moments in my childhood when I felt different or even excluded. Uh, uh, well, well, one memory that stands out is from my primary school. We used to read. We, we used to read in class, and when it was my turn, um, any of my friends would laugh. Uh, the 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 a teacher would try to say, "Don't laugh," uh, uh, but that experience made me more aware of my speech and maybe more self-conscious. Um, but at the same time, but uh, but but at the same time, I was I was lucky in some ways. Um, my, my my family and people close to me were supportive about my stuttering and speech, and date me, and that made a big difference. Um, Over time, I tried many different things to manage stuttering. For example, speech therapy, self-help groups about stuttering. But the most important thing was uh, learning to accept myself. Um, and I believe that no single things help on its own about stuttering. Progress about that comes from a combination of support, understanding, and maybe self-acceptance. Um, at that point, maybe I can talk about uh, self self-help groups because um, it's very important. it's very important to me about my stuttering perspective. Um, in those meetings, we support each other in ways that feel uh, just as valuable as uh, just as valuable as a professional therapy. Even though we are not psychologists or speech therapists, but our shared experiences and empathy made a big impact about that. And I can say it affects my stuttering journey, my my perspective about stuttering a lot.
I can imagine. And to be honest, it's not easy what you had to go through at school. And kids can be sometimes a little bit
Yeah,
like they don't have filter. So they just say what comes to their minds, they laugh, and they don't always
yeah,
think
yeah,
about the consequences that this might have for the other person, right? So I can imagine it was not easy for you. And I also agree with the fact that support groups really bring relief because you feel safe. You are there with people that also go through similar situations. So you know that they really understand you. And most likely, many of us have shared experiences that are really similar, like feeling excluded or laughed at or some kind of
yeah,
situation. So it's really important. And also because with like stuttering, we often grew up not knowing other people who also like stutter. And it can be a feeling of really feeling inadequate. You feel everyone speaks fluently, but then you don't, and you don't know other people who don't. So it feels very inadequate growing up without having a support group where where people can understand you and share the journey together and share the pain that it brings. Many times, even if we learn how to cope with this pain, it can be very challenging to navigate the challenges of stuttering, to navigate the prejudice, the stigma that people have, and all of these things.
yeah, yeah. About them, uh, about them, about them, as you said, we are different. Yes, we are different. We are not talking like every other people uh, talk. But um, I think being different that that doesn't always means worse. We are different, but is the thing that uh, that we are rich about.
Yeah, yeah. And now I would love to actually learn more about the work that you guys are doing with the Turkish Stuttering Association. So what is it that you guys do? Is it a new association or you guys have been there for many years now? What are the goals? And I would love to know more about it.
We have founded in 2017, um, and the first. We are the first and only non-profit organization in Turkey about stuttering. The, 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 there are not any organization about stuttering other than us. Um, and we created it to support people who stutter, to educate society, and to challenge the misinformation about stuttering. Um, about our activities, I can say we organize self-help meetings like every other uh, st every other studying organization does. We do awareness campaigns and public events. Um, uh, we support we support academic re research, um, host conferences, and work to protect the rights of the people who stutter. As a vice president, I had to coordinate many of these efforts, many of these efforts. We meet every Sunday in Istanbul. And we also organize online meetings twice a week, and we organize conferences about stuttering every year. These works are the things what we are the most powerful and impactful. Recently, I also gave a talk at the Stutterfest to introduce our work. I can also recommend the people to look for that presentation for a very detailed experiment presentation about us, and our goal is to create a strong community, change how society sees stuttering, and help people who stutter.
On this topic, so you guys are the only stuttering association in Turkey.
Yes.
That makes me like that for me brings a question of how well known is stuttering in Turkey. So how is like stuttering view in Turkey? Are people aware of like what is stuttering? Is there a lot of discrimination or prejudice? How does that work in Turkey?
Uh, 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 I don't think the way stuttering is viewed in Turkey is very different from most of the other places. Um, the, there is still a lot of misunderstanding, and most people think it's simply a speech problem, and you can fix if you just re 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 relax or don't think about that. In Turkey, people know about stuttering. Yes, the there is a thing called stuttering, but about the deep information, people don't know much thing, and we try to explain ourselves to the Turkish to the Turkish society. I can say that about people, Turkish culture is very warm and helpful, and these things affects people's behavior to 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 stuttering. People often to try to finish my sentences or speak for me. I know they are doing that to help, but we should explain them how is better for us about their behaviors. I usually thank them for their kindness and then explain that I prefer to finish my thoughts on my own. It's a very common thing that I came across in Turkey and about the Turkish people. And with our association, we are slowly changing the perceptions, I think. Personally, I can say I I start to change my own environment, and then I try to reach more people, and our goal is that in our association. As I said, we raise awareness in social media, interviews, events, and talks for the people in Turkey. Um, and I think we have made a good progress, but we know that there is still a long way to go, of course. And there are many people, uh, many more people we want to reach.
That's really great because I believe that a lot of people who indeed need support, and it's great that now there is an association that is paving the way, that is working towards raising more awareness in the country, and supporting. A lot of people need support, and sometimes you don't know where to go for those kind of support. So this is really great. And I have a question that is actually more about you. Based on your experience and what you know now, you are now 25. So what would you tell your 10-year-old person, let's say, what would you tell yourself, your 10-year-old self?
At 10, I knew I stuttered, but I didn't fully understand what that meant. The real awareness uh, came in my teenage years. If I could speak to my younger self, uh, not 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 just at 10, but maybe 14 or 15, um, I would say you are not alone. There are others like you. Uh, talk talk to them, share your story, and don't this carry uh, this weight by yourself. Uh, I would encourage younger myself to seek out support groups, to meet other people who stutter, um, and to see the value in connecting with a community that would have made a big difference earlier on. And and about and about and about experiences, as I said, I had many different experiences, but I would want to say these things to who um yeah, yeah, anger myself.
What was the biggest challenge for you growing up with stutter? Like, and how did you manage the challenge? Like, for instance, was it self-esteem, self-confidence, or something else? What for you was the biggest challenge about stuttering growing up, and how did you overcame this? How did you overcome this?
I tried to explain myself uh, to 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 my friends over and over again. I always tell people I'm a person with stuttering, and I speak like that. Accept me like that. And after I express myself to the people, people most of the time give a positive uh, feed, feedback. And and after I talk with people about stuttering, I feel myself better, and And at that point, it's very easy to overcome the fear of the stuttering. I can say that talking with other people specifically about stuttering makes a very good uh, impact, and that was uh, what I did and still do most of the time.
It takes a lot of courage to be able to just say it, to be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
talk to people about that and be open and disclose in such a transparent way.
Hmm.
Many people are not able to do that until they're much older and they feel more at ease to disclose and to just like talk about it. And I like about and I also like what you said about what you would tell yourself at 10 years old or like 14 or a little bit older when you were more conscious about like stuttering. And it's so interesting sometimes to look back, right, as the years pass by, and maybe in 10 years from now, you're gonna have a slight different view than what you have now. And it's interesting how the more time passes, the tendencies that we're able to cope with it much better. And my last question to you is, what advice would you give to people who also stutter?
Um, if I could give just one piece of advice, um, it would be this: s- stay social, speak often, and don't hide. I think stuttering is a bit more like a muscle. The more you use it, the more confidence you build. For example, you have to work with a muscle, right? Because if you don't uh, if you don't do anything about your muscle, it would be bad for that. And I think stuttering is like a muscle. The less you speak, the more isolated and tense you feel. Talking, um, even when it's hard, is the best way, I think. Um, I can say as an advice, meet new people, take part in the conversations, and let the world hear your voice. Um, you deserve to be heard, and not despite you stutter, but as you are. Um, and I think it's very important to be and I think it's very important to be aware of how big our community is. Around 1% of the population stutters. For example, in Turkey, the it's close to a million people. When we come together, we are stronger. We support each other and we learn from each other. Um, and we help to make the world a more understanding place, I think.
Definitely, that's a great message. And how can people actually find out more information about the Turkish Stuttering Association? How can they reach out?
We have social media accounts. We uh, we we have a website. They can find information about us. We also we also have an email address, and they can write to us. For example, I'm writing it right now. to the chat. Maybe you can find you maybe maybe you can put it on the screen, um, and they can reach um, and they can reach to us. We are always open to collaborations, and we also always want to uh, reach more people. And I can say, don't hesitate to talk and reach to us. We are we are always uh, we are always open to communication.
Sounds great. No, thank you so much. This was such a lovely talk. I'm I am really thankful that you were willing to share about your journey and about what the Turkish Stuttering Association is doing also. That's so crucial. I know there is an event coming up, I think it's 21st of September in Istanbul.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Is this like it's open to anyone who wants to participate?
Yeah, yeah. Um, it will be an international conference uh, with a collaboration of Turkish Stuttering Association and the World Stuttering Network. We are also in a collaboration with the Istanbul Medipol University speech speech and language uh, department. Um, it will be an interactive conference about stuttering, people who stutters, and speech and language therapists will talk there. There will also be uh, workshops that people can participate and express themselves, and and it's open to everyone, and it's free for every people who stutter. Uh, we uh, we we really want to see we really want to see the international people coming to our conference. It will be it will be in, it will be in Istanbul, and we are very excited about that.
That's incredible. I hope it will be a success and I hope a lot of people will be there. I wish,
Thank you.
but I won't be able to. But that's really cool. Well, I just want to thank you again for being here today and for sharing. I wish a lot of success to the Turkish Stuttering Association in these next years to come.
Thank you for having me there. Um, it was also very good for me, and I'm also very thankful to you. Um, it was a very good and a nice conversation, and I can say that stuttering society uh, about that. I think it's um, I think it's a very good platform. Um, it helps people who stutter find each other, stay connected. I think you are doing an amazing job. And if there are anything I can do, I would be very happy to give support uh, because I think it's a very uh, important for us to stay connected. As I said, as I said earlier in this meeting, um, and I hope you grow even more in the future.
Thank you so much. I also hope it's gonna grow also and
Mhm.
that we all can grow and support each other because I think like stuttering, I think the more we support each other and we just grow together, the more we can help other people. So Gunesh, thank you so much again. I wish you a wonderful day. I hope you're gonna have a great week and let's stay in touch and thank you again.
Yes, thank you. again to you. It was very good to be there.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.